What's going on, everybody? Rob here, aka Trev2323. No, it's not a fish tank video, although the tanks are looking mighty spiffy. We're working on my honeys. This is actually upside down as a bird bath, and these are her frogs, so her bird bath. Let me stay on this side because I got a terrible shadow. But if you can see, I got a terrible, the rebar is actually sticking out right here. And there's a crack going all the way down right here. Now we got a family friend that's gonna paint this. Liz Rosado, shouts out to you. She does amazing yard artwork, that the statues, and she paints them. They look real beautiful. So we're gonna take this to her, but I want to repair this little bit right here and the crack going down right there. And then I noticed going around that there's, I mean, this is withered, this is years old, but there's a pretty big crack right in here. And there's like 3 of them. See right there also. Let me see. Right there and right there. So this is upside down right now because basically I'm going to epoxy with 2-stage epoxy, 2-step epoxy. And then this right here, I'm going to use an epoxy stick and the clear weld on this. The epoxy stick's going to cover this right here. And then the clear weld is going to go inside the crack and across the foot right here. And with the clear weld, since it's opening up, I'm actually going to clear weld these cracks here on the outside right here. And there's a little tiny chip right here that's not even noticeable. I probably might not west with it, but since the clear weld is open, I'm going to clear weld all the tops of these right now. And then let's see, setup time, it sets up really fast. When it sets up, I'm going to flip it over and do the top part of it. Now, I had my big vacuum. I vacuumed it out already. So, this is the one right here that I was telling you. Now, with the Gorilla Glue, I know I don't like this light either that I got going on back here with the shadows. Not that one. With the glue stick right here, it says auto, but this is an epoxy glue stick right here. These work really good for water, but you got to be careful with them. I don't wear gloves with it because it always sticks to the gloves. I never have good work. Doesn't work out good. Do not throw the top of it away. You got to put this right back on it when you're done with it. The top of this, but this gets hard like a rock, hard like steel when it's after it's. But you have to mix it together. Okay. Now with this right here, you just cut the piece that you need. So that's a pretty big piece right there that I need. That's probably going to be like half a stick right there that I'm gonna need. So you get your half of epoxy stick and the other half you cover up and you put back in your tube. You wrap it up and put it back in your tube like this. Now the epoxy is not set. Oh, it says right here, prepare surfaces, cut off desired amount, mix together for 60 seconds, and it sets up in 5 minutes. Sets up in 5 minutes after you mix it together. Okay? So what I did right there, you look, it don't look rusted out. That's actually from Eastwood. It's called Fast Etch. And what it does is it converts the rust over to a paintable surface. See, it's all black now? It converts the rust to a paintable surface. So let me get this. Now this right here is the epoxy. This right here is the epoxy, and then you just got to mix this together till you get one color. But when you start wearing gloves, it starts to stick on the gloves. So this right here is gonna turn a light gray. I'm saying light gray because my hands are dirty. And
once this hardens, this is gonna be like a rock, like a piece of steel right here. But it has to be all uniform color, and this will last longer than that probably statue right there. This is epoxy right here. 60 seconds, it says mix for 60 seconds. I guess I should have been counting. But normally, it's just a uniform color you're looking for. And you don't want it to get hard, because once you start working it and it gets hard, that's it, it's done. You gotta grab another piece. See how it's turning one uniform color? That's what you want to get, one uniform color.
Okay. Now this right here is gonna go onto this right here. Let's see, make sure that's in the shot. I'm just getting ready to put it on right here because I know that wasn't 60 seconds yet, but it's one uniform color. So then you cover up what you need, and I wanted to cover up all that rust, and you don't want to look like a piece of gum that's just sitting on there. But all this is actually going to be painted over, and you can actually sand this also. Try to get some in there. I just need this to cover it, because if you leave that dang rebar sticking out, oh, gotta pull some up there. I felt the rebar. You only got like it's hard in 5 minutes, so you don't get a lot of time to work at it. Now you don't want water to be able to get in the top part of it. Water will actually damage it more. I mean, we're in the cold weather, so it freezes. Could put some designs on it to make it look like a tree, like it's not like a... And then after this hardens up, then I'm going to put a streak of epoxy all the way down the whole crack. And that's the other epoxy, this right here. And I'll show you a trick on that right there also. And we can read whatever else this is for. This stuff is amazing stuff. It really is. Okay, so that's covered the little piece. Now when it's painted, it's just going to look like part of the tree because it's going to be brown, and that's the frog's leg right there. Okay, so let me wash my hands. I'll be right back. Okay, I know that light is horrible, but you see it's setting up right now. So I'm going to leave that for a little bit. Now this right here is what I'm using. This is the Gorilla Glue epoxy stick. 10 minutes. So I don't got an Alexa down here. I got one upstairs. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes. Okay. She set my timer. Okay, so I don't want to, excuse me, I don't want to waste this yet, the clear weld, the JB clear weld. But the trick with getting the right JB clear weld, let me get this behind me. That light is atrocious. I know. This is JB clear weld. Now this is one trick when you're looking for this. And the guy pointed out other ones, and I said I didn't even want them. This is the one that I wanted right here because this got the self-mixing tube on it. And this is very important because when you squeeze it out, it's already mixed together. This is two pieces, like it's epoxy and resin or whatever. You got to break out this middle piece right here. Oh, put this on first. Oh, cut that off first. Cut that off, put this on, break out the middle piece. So when you plunge it, it mixes together, and this gets hard as a rock, and it's sandable and drillable also. Let me wait with the 10 minutes on that, and then we'll get to this right here. Alright, here we go. It's all cured up right there. See, can't even tell that there was a big piece of, what's it called? Rebar sticking out right there. Okay, now this is the JB weld that I'm going to use. I got an extra one right here. I'm probably going to need a couple of them. I bought a couple of them. They set in 5 minutes, cure in 1 hour. I don't know if you can see right there better. Set in 5 minutes, cure in 1 hour. Alright, and I got another light so you could see a little bit better here. Alright, so you see this long line crack right there? That's what I'm trying to fill in, that long line crack. And then on the frogs, let's go around this way. On the frog's leg, there's a crack. Okay, now also there's hairline cracks back here. So I got extra epoxy sticks. Oh, let me put this down right here. See if you can see right there. I got extra epoxy sticks. So this right here, you break off the tip or cut off the tip of it right here, and then you put the mixer in it and you twist it. Okay, the mixture's in here now. That's gonna mix it. Then you got to break out the middle piece right here, and then now this is ready to mix. So I'm trying to see if you can get in here, where when you plunge it, I'll get some light right here. That's the crack right there. So it's mixing together right now, and it has a 5-minute set time. And this is why I like it, because it mixes together by itself. See, so that fills in the crack right there. I'll put some up here because I see that. And then that's going down the crack to right here. And this is going to cure super hard. Okay, remember I said about the crack in the frog's leg? Put this around the crack in the frog's leg right here. This can be sanded also. On the back, the tree, there's some spots on the tree that I want to get also on the back. I'll go around afterward, but see there's a big crack right in there on the tree. You don't want water to be able to get into anything. Whatever the water is going to be able to get into is going to crack again. Starting to dry up. I can feel the tip of it. So that's filled in right there. That cracks all the way up. There's some more cracks right here. And I'm just trying to fill in all these little cracks. Now it's going to be painted, and you're really not going to be able to tell that all this is filled in right here. Okay. That's the epoxy, and this is kind of putting the two together. All right, now I told you before over here, let me get this one right here. Then I wanted to fill in this right here. So since I got this right here, and this right here I really don't worry about because this is going to be on the bottom of this. Okay, so here we go. So that's all epoxied, and you see how it's a whole different color and everything, but that's all going to be painted. But here's one trick. Oh man, I should have, let me grab that. You don't want a drip down there like that, so let me wipe that out of here. I actually do got another set of gloves, whole bunch of other sets of gloves right now with me, so you don't kind of really don't want it. You want it to look more natural, so you don't want the drip. But that's all epoxied. All the little cracks are epoxied and everything. The legs epoxied. And then I epoxied these right here. Now, this is the bottom, so you're not gonna see this anyways. This is the bottom right here. But the important part is I gotta flip over the other side and do the exact same thing on the other side. I had so much extra in the tube, any little hairline crack I seen, I just put it in. But that right there, remember starting that right there was a broken piece right there, and it looks perfect now already. So after this cures tomorrow, I'm gonna get either a red scrubby. This is a red scrubby, or maybe 220 sandpaper, and I'm gonna sand all the epoxy down. So when we give it to Liz Rosado over here in East Chicago, or Hammond or East Chicago, I don't know where you live at, Liz. She's gonna go ahead and paint them for us, but I want to have it sanded and scuffed because you need at least a 220 scuff for paint to stick, or I think a 440 scuff for paint to stick. 400 to paint to stick, 220 is better for, like, look it up. All right, let me let this got to cure for 5 minutes. Ingredients from the other side. Let me turn my light on here. Now you see the started filling in right there, but I don't want that to dry because I want to put more in there, a lot more on all these cracks. See right there. Actually that filled in pretty good from the bottom, but I'm gonna follow it wherever there's a crack. I'm gonna follow it all the, see, that's a pretty big crack right there, and that was the first crack I had, but then I got some cracks in here, so I filled the cracks in on the back. And then I'm filling them all the way in around the front with the JB Weld epoxy. Now that went a lot longer than I thought it was gonna go, man. That lasted a whole lot. But once you open it, that's it for the kid. So I'm gonna see a little dabble do you right in there, that I'm gonna do that right there before that cures all the way. And then I'm gonna start on this one right here. But either way, the next time you'll see this is when it's fully painted. That right there is repairing. This right here is about 20 years old. Guess what? I bet you I can get another 20 years out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and epoxy all this in. And then after it's epoxied, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and scuff it. I'm probably going to scuff it with 220. That's what I'm going to do, scuff it with 220. So when Liz paints it, she could go ahead and paint it with, and she won't have no problem with the paint sticking. All right? Alright, by the magic of time lapse, this is the next day. Sorry, let me get my major bedhead over here. It's Sunday. Remember I used to have bedhead Sunday? Well, it is. Now this is just sandpaper from the dollar store. 300 pieces from the dollar, 30 pieces from the dollar store. 120 grit sandpaper. Do you see how shiny this epoxy is? Let me see better without it. See how shiny that is? So you can't really paint over that because it's not gonna stick. This is way too shiny. Like too bright to see how shiny that is. There you go, right there. Okay. Now this right here, I just gotta scuff all this. Okay, now this right here, oh my god, this is solid as a rock. That's the other one. But that's gonna be painted as part of the tree. See, that's going to be painted as part of the tree, so you're not going to see. So just before we're taking this to the painter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some sandpaper and scuff it. Pump sat in the water for like 15 or 20 years. We had to put a blowgun, an air gun inside of both pieces to blow the air back out of them because it was just so plugged up with dirt and whatever was living inside of these. So we put the air gun on it, and actually my wife shot it at my finger. I didn't think there was that much dirt that was going to come out. Then it shot back at her, and she got something in her hair right here. So we're going to plug it in and see if it works. We're doing all this before to see if there's no sense in having to do all this problems after it's painted. And we put a hose clamp on it. Yep. Oh, there's one. Oh no, it stopped again. It did shoot out. No, it's not the hose. Maybe the clamp fell off again. It shot out the bottom one and then stopped. The problem, the bottom one is shooting very good. Top one is trickling. Bottom one is shooting, top one is trickling. So I think it's going to be with the hoses that we're going to have to put a bigger hose a little bit for the top. And this way this one won't go as far. And this, you kind of need them in the same distance because they can't shoot over the planter itself. That one shoots really good, ain't it?